Hey guys, Zephyrnix here, and today on Zephyrnix Live, we're going to talk about the possible new contender for the next generation. Who will contend? Who will go against the PlayStation 4, the Xbox 720, and the Wii 2? Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but first some gaming news that actually caught my eye. Now, there's a couple of things here that really good and bad. First of all, the bad. Black Ops is going to put their DLC on PlayStation 3 for 15 bucks. 15 bucks? Are you serious? Like, that is like the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. 15 bucks seems a little bit too much to be paying for some, I don't know what it is, but hey, if you guys like Black Ops, then you need to go ahead and cop that. But me personally, 15 bucks just seems a little bit too much. Some other things too. The 3DS is actually going to have Netflix streaming capability. So, like I said before, Netflix is trying to take over the world. They've taken over consoles. They've taken over handheld devices now. They've taken over cell phones. What else is there? I don't know. Wristwatches? I don't know. It's like they're taking over the world, and it keeps going. Shenmue III is still a desired game to be created by its creator. So we're just letting you guys know, whoever is watching this video, whether it be Sony or Microsoft, you really need to go ahead and take advantage of this. Believe me, if you take advantage of this, your systems will sell. Okay, you guys got to realize Shenmue is one of the best games I have ever played in my life. It is the only, well, I wouldn't say the only, but one of the best martial arts / RPG games I've ever played. Will somebody be smart and cop that game, please? Resistance 3 multiplayer beta is confirmed and will be on the PlayStation 3. Now, they haven't really given a lot of news on it, but I will tell you this, most likely it will be on PlayStation Plus. Speaking of PlayStation Plus, Mortal Kombat, the new Mortal Kombat will be on a demo for PlayStation Plus members. So if you are not PlayStation Plus and you love Mortal Kombat, there is something missing between that equation, and you need to go ahead and become a Plus member so you can go ahead and play the demo first of Mortal Kombat. Now, does that mean that it will not be on the Xbox 360? Will it be on the PlayStation 3 first? The answer is, I don't know. I am actually in the works with contacting Ed Boon right now to go ahead and see if I can go ahead and get an answer for that. But right now, you guys have just got to take what is given right now. Hopefully, we will get an answer by the end of the day. If I do get an answer, I will make a video on it, and I will also add an indentation to this video. Another news, Saints Row the Third. That's the new name of the new Saints Row game. Now, it's actually quite better. The whole premise is a lot different than a lot of people would actually go through. Like, for example, the first one was simply about, you were this low-level thug, you were going through the streets, going ahead and doing your thing. The second time, you were now the leader of the Saints, and you were going ahead and you were leading the Saints to victory to retake Stillwater. And number 3, now we have that you've already taken over Stillwater. You are the kings of the world, well, at least of Stillwater, and you become a franchise. However, now that you become a franchise, you got bigger fish to fry. You are no longer dealing with people who want to take over just the city, but now you got to deal with other people out there who literally want to take over a lot more than the city, possibly the world. So this is definitely something that's really good here. I haven't heard too much news on this, but I'm definitely looking forward to Saints Row. By the way, I will dedicate one particular video just to Saints Row alone. So definitely stay tuned for that. That will come later today. Another thing too, did you guys know that the guys who actually created Gears of War are actually interested in releasing Gears of War for the PlayStation? That's right. The guys at Gears of War want to go ahead and stretch their arms out and kind of bring their game to all the masses, which I think is fantastic, because to be point and honest with you, hopefully a lot of PlayStation 3 gamers will stop hating on the game just because it's on another system or exclusive to another system. Gears of War is a fantastic game, and I definitely hope to see it on the PlayStation 3 so that way you guys can experience this awesomeness of epic proportions when it comes out. But anyway, on to the actual topic at hand now. The new possible company that will actually go ahead and release a console or console-like to the masses is actually Valve. That's right, the PC giant, the company that literally brought PC from its ashes, has announced pretty much that they're working on a console. Now, they haven't really talked about 100% their own console, but it kind of leads up to that. Let me go ahead and explain to you what big picture is. Now, what big picture, of course, is the whole overall scheme of things, but big picture is also going to be a new interface that Valve is going to use, I believe most likely on the PlayStation 3, probably as well as the Valve for the PC. What this is going to do, basically, this is going to give you a new look at things, so that way you can go ahead and play it on an actual television, because you guys know that the actual Valve interface is actually designed for a monitor in mind. So big picture mode is something that's going to be definitely it's going to be basically something that's going to make it console-like-ish, you know? So is that good or is that bad? Well, I think it's actually really good. First of all, we're getting a brand new interface that's fantastic, and not to mention, Steam is still on it. It's on the Mac, it's on the PC, and it's coming to the PlayStation 3 very soon. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. And not to mention, it's going to release the whole cross-border thing. So I'm definitely looking forward to those things coming into play. But aside from that, here's the problem though. There is a problem. Now, to quote this one particular website, Sony would sooner hand out the PlayStation 3 hack code than let Steam overthrow their PlayStation network on its own console. But with Steam Cloud and the gaming television, Valve won't need Sony forever. In fact, Valve really doesn't need Sony. It's more like the opposite way around. Valve being put on a Sony platform gives Sony more of a prestige than the vice versa, you know? So it's definitely something that, you know, it's definitely looking good. You guys have got to remember, Valve literally took things from the ashes and pretty much brought it to what it is right now. Sony came on the scene when PlayStation 3, but when gaming was already at its prime, and it brought it to its pinnacle. So that's cool and all that. But the thing is that it's no, like, if Sony would have started off from the crash and brought out like Nintendo, you know, then that would have been something different. But I'm not saying that, you know, Sony needs Valve in order to survive. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that Valve going to Sony, rather Valve introducing their services on the PlayStation 3 is a lot more prestige than Sony introducing their services on the Valve network. For example, I mean, if you really think about it, Valve Steam Works is pretty much better than PlayStation Network anyway. So I mean, that's basically what I'm trying to say. You know, I think the only thing that PlayStation Network has over Steam is video chat. But at any rate, so that's definitely one of the things that is that a lot of people are talking about. Now, with that being said, though, let's go ahead and continue on. Valve TV is actually working on something called Valve is working on something called Valve TV. Now, Valve TV is actually pretty interesting. It's pretty much going to be exactly what it sounds like, and that's bringing the Valve hardware to an actual, perhaps a little boxier, exclusively Valve, and it's definitely going to be digital distribution, as I stated before, which is the future. Digital distribution will be a must, most likely, for Valve. And aside from that, it's going to have a built-in hard drive. I can already tell you the specs. You know, pretty much it's going to be the specs of my PC, long and short of it. Why? Because, well, my PC has yet to be beaten. There has been no game out there yet that has yet to go ahead and conquer my PC. So most likely, it will be my PC specs, which will be the new specs. Well, probably around there. Around there is what I'm saying. It'll probably be better, but somewhere around there. Long and short of it, though, what I'm trying to say is this. If that is the case, with my PC already being stronger than any other console out there, that really leads, that really, Well, to be honest with you, there is no definite answer in terms of what can happen with Valve. I'm definitely looking forward to Valve doing this now. If Valve was to go ahead and become their own console, without a doubt, even though I have a PC right here in front of me, without a doubt, I will go ahead and purchase this console simply because it is Valve. And to be honest with you, I'm not the only one who thinks this. PlayStation 3 sales will start to grow very soon. Why? Because Valve is on, or rather Steamworks is on the PlayStation 3. And that is just the truth. It will be that, A lot of people, and a lot of PlayStation gamers out there will sit there and they will go ahead and try to downplay Valve. They will. And Be honest with you, I don't know why you would do that. But I'll tell you what. Downplay it all you want to, but the numbers will speak for themselves. The things will be. I'm telling you right now, and this is something that I know Sony will be worried about, because Valve will go on the PlayStation 3, and if it's going on the way Valve says it will, which by the way it's Valve, it's not Sony, so you can pretty much believe everything that Valve says, unlike Sony, which will say, hey, guess what? We're going to release our 2 touchpad on our PlayStation Go, and then don't. Even though Sony technically didn't say that. They just kind of released a feature list that had that on there, but whatever. It's the same thing, in my opinion. But anyway, last but not least, though, this thing about Xbox 360 though too. Well, they don't really do that. It's just they'll initially say, hey, it's going to do this, and they'll change the specs later on, like they did with Kinect. But at any rate, last but not least, I want to end the video with this. It is something that I am definitely looking forward to. Valve has become like a literal gaming powerhouse as of recently, and I'm definitely looking forward to Valve just taking it to the consoles. So I guess the question of today is this: if Valve is to go ahead and release their own consoles, would you actually jump ship from one console to a Valve console? Now, my also question is this: if so, now that's what I'm asking you. I'm going to say it again. If you are going, if you think that Valve is, if you are someone who actually prefers, let me just re-say it. If you are someone who actually prefers to own one console, okay? Now, next generation, when all the new generation consoles come out and Valve actually releases their own console, will you actually go to Valve? Now, before you do that, I highly recommend, before you answer this, I highly recommend that you go ahead and you do your research on Valve by going to www.steampowered.org and go ahead and do your research. Let you see what Valve is all about. Look at those beautiful beam footage of freaking discounts that they give you. And answer this: would you be willing to make Valve your exclusive console for the next generation? Or, matter of fact, no, not even next generation. Or you're willing to make Valve your exclusive console? That's number one. I want you to answer that question. That's number one. And if so, tell us what system that you're coming from. Now, number two, it's the second question too, okay? Number two, if number one answer is no, would you be willing to buy the Valve console? I want to know both of those answers. You guys have a good night. Zephyrnix is out.